Okay, I hope you guys can all hear me. Let me check. Let's see. Grandma Sherry said always check with the chat before you get well into anything. Can y'all? Okay. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep the YouTube side open while I'm using Restream or not. So, well, welcome in everybody. And as the slide says, it is my 1,000 subscriber special. And it is all thanks to you guys, new and old subscribers alike. It's about 700 of you that have been with me since the beginning, which has been 15 years now. And then through my offline period, I gained probably about another 150 some subscribers that like to come back and watch the slideshows and that type of thing. And they stuck around, and I wasn't even uploading content, so that was really nice. And now, as of last night, I was in during Earth's live stream. At some point, I didn't recall hearing it, but there must have been a call out to, hey, give me a bump. And Wani came in and said, hey, you've just hit your 1,000 subscriber mark. So thank you very much. And my understanding is it was Earth's community, and it was the ship's community from Savage Life Media. So a big thank you to all you guys. I really, really appreciate the support. I hope that you will enjoy the previous content and the few things that I have upcoming. And hello, Yada, Chopper, Grandma Sherry, Irish Jessie. Oh, I'm not sure how I don't see all the chat over on the Restream side, so I'm not entirely sure how all that works. I just started clicking the chats, and I think they show up. So I appreciate that. But while I'm here, I did want to just touch on a couple of things. Yep, Earth Savage, woo woo. I did want to, happy Halloween if you participate in the Pumpkin Day. May your pumpkin's smile be bright and have long lasting. And don't forget, if you live in a rural area, when you're done with your pumpkins, throw them out back in your bushes or along a tree line, because the wild animals love them. And never throw away your pumpkin seeds. If you don't save them for yourself, send them outside as well for the animals, because it's a natural dewormer for them, and it keeps them healthy, and it gives them a lot of the nutrients that they need to have good bones, and it helps fatten them up a little bit for wintertime. Squirrels and chipmunks love them. Deer absolutely adore pumpkin, and bears too. I don't know if y'all have bears where you live, but I have them where I live. And just before winter comes around, they'll make their pass through to see if there's anything left laying around in vegetable gardens or food plots or the apple trees or any late bloomers like the ever-bearing strawberries. I have 6 strawberries growing, and here it is going to be the 1st of November. So I'm excited about that. They're in a little planter, so I'll bring them in because we are expecting in a couple of days to get down into the 30s. We already had our first frost, which ended up taking my sorghum and my morning glories, the couple of tomatoes that I still had out there, and I don't think any other flowers, except for my balloon flowers that dried them up really quick. The sad thing is that because we had that cold snap, the leaves just dropped off the trees. So I really only had like 3 good days of of leaf peeping or looking out the second floor at the hillside and up the mountain at all the pretty colors. And we have so much maple with all the evergreens that it's just beautiful. I did put a picture of the lake for y'all on my community post if you wanted to see it. So, but I do have one little thing that I'd like to touch on today. And I don't know if everybody has seen the little presentations that I did on free speech, the presumption of innocence, and the what responsibility we have as chatters in forums or chat rooms. My panel is open, so if anybody comes in that would like to join, just let me know. Raise your hand, type in all caps and flashy letters and words that, hey, I'd like to come up. So hopefully y'all can still hear me. And let me go over here. Oh, the Blue Ridge Mountains, absolutely beautiful, Grandma Sherry. Even down in the Shenandoah Valley, just absolutely beautiful. I do know that a couple states have installed earth cams in the more remote areas of the mountains. So like up on fire towers and little pull-off ridges, they have them tucked away, hidden around, and they're PTZ cameras, and you get a beautiful view. Like what we have in Pennsylvania, we have what's called the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, which is the valleys in the Alleghenies that was forged because of the glaciers that pushed through PA. And it's, if you've ever seen the Grand Canyon or seen pictures of the Grand Canyon, you see all the layers of sediment and the colors and how it's so beautiful. Well, in the fall in Pennsylvania's Little Grand Canyon, it's the leaves that provide that color. And I would encourage anybody to do a Google search to see the photographs of the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon in fall, or check on YouTube, or go to earthcam.com and type in a mountain range or someplace like that and see if something comes up. Some of them are privately owned and they're available for free viewing. And some, unfortunately, you have to pay like a membership fee to be able to see the, yeah. Oh, yes, I do. Hi, Sinner. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. What was I saying? Oh, yes, you have to pay a membership fee. Now, there's so much open source content on the internet. If you can find it open source and free, where you don't have to give your email or a phone number or anything like that, I highly recommend that. If they want to track your cookies for an ad, let them track your cookies for an ad. It's so much better than having your email out there, because your email gets sold 3, 4, and 5 times over for advertising. Oh, did you send her? Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Next time you come back up home here. I don't know if you've ever been to the Kennerdale Overlook. Oh, it looks over the. It's just before the headwaters of the Allegheny, where the Allegheny River starts. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I think it's about maybe just about a 2,000-foot elevation because I'm at 17.5, well 1,750 elevation. I think I'd have to double check. I have it written down because I can. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. Reimersburg has got the Eagle Overlook too, where you can see where the eagles nest during the winter months. Absolutely beautiful there as well, and just gorgeous. And and up in this part of Pennsylvania, there's been a lot of land reclamation because of all the coal mines and the strip mining that was done and for the limestone. But then when the Marcellus Shale came through, we lost a lot of private forested land for the pipelines and everything. However, the one thing I can say is that they were very good about if they dug up a square foot, they planted a tree. So every place that they dug, they planted. And excuse me, it's been 15, 20 years now, and those trees are at a maturity. So you'd never know that anybody has gone through there. I've been there. What a small world. I hope to be back to the Berg around Christmas. Oh, it'll be beautiful because I think we're going to be getting a lot of snow this year. I've already seen the woolly bear caterpillars coming out. Okay, so it looks like I can't see the entire chat unless I'm on the YouTube side. So somebody might have to teach me how to use that that part of Restream. But while I'm here, and before I get too far off topic, because I could sit here and talk about all the natural beauty of Pennsylvania for hours on end. Is the sound still coming through okay, you guys? Because I did have to turn my fan on. So I hope that it's not messing anything up. But oh, Sinner, if you do make it back up this way for Christmas, I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and I did confirm that the Big Butler Fairgrounds, they are going to have the Festival of Lights this year. It's a drive-through. It's what they used to have at Hartwood Acres. And from what I understand, they extended it by another 6 acres. So it's like a 45-minute to an hour drive through now. So what they're saying is that this year it's going to be one of the best shows. There'll be a lot of animatronics on top of everything. So it's the last time I was there, it was several years ago. It was when they were going back and forth between Hartwood Acres and the Big Butler Fairgrounds, and both were beautiful, but the light show at the Big Butler Fairgrounds is larger because of the land mass. So or the square acreage. So it was really beautiful. Heck, I have one neighbor way up on the hill that has already put their Christmas out, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But it was really pretty to see, though. It looks, the sun was shining, and they've got all their little animatronic snowmen and little trains and stuff. They go all out. I suspect that they're the ones that own the Speedway, so they can afford that electricity bill. But oh, thank you, Chopper. I appreciate it. congratulations on gaining 1,000 subs. Don't ever stop fighting for human rights. And I'm glad that you are part of this team to ensure that we all can have our voices heard. Thank you, Chopper. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Sometimes it seems like you're not making a difference when it comes to the internet. I mean, there are so many users and so many different platforms and channels to go through. And then when you have what's considered the larger channels, having panel guests on that are saying things like, well, you know, all these little channels. Well, everybody had to start somewhere, you know, and you just don't decide to log in and automatically have thousands of subscribers. It used to be a lot easier because you had your YouTube channel hooked up with your Google Plus and your Hangout stream, your Hangouts. I mean, there was a time of day. I mean, my Google Plus had well over 100,000 participants on my Google Plus. I had 3 different communities, and it was all combined together. If I loaded something on YouTube, it went to Google Plus. If I put something on Google Plus, it came straight on over to the YouTube side. And hey, Just Irish, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then things changed, and so on and so forth. Again, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Shiny objects. I want to go in and go ahead and do the little presentation. So y'all that are coming in, that are here now, or that watch the replay, will understand and at least have the tools to look for yourself on the limitations of free speech and what constitutes free speech on a platform, and the various policies or statutes, laws, depending on your jurisdiction, how it pertains to you as an individual here in the United States. None of this is legal advice. How do I phrase this? It's not legal advice. All I'm doing is going to show you what's on the books in the context of law within the United States. So hopefully that covers it. But little channels in size, not in stature. Thank you. That's a good one. I'm going to have to copy that for later. If y'all have your channels, drop your links. I know Chopper's going to be going live here after a bit. I'm not sure if Center will be. Let me go ahead and put you as a moderator. Center, you should be able to drop your link as well. And if you have any links you want to drop for someone you think that other people might find entertaining or beneficial or helpful, go ahead and drop them in. I think we all pretty much just know drama channels that focus on drama. I've in my 15 years now on this particular channel, I've managed to keep the drama away from this particular channel, and I'd like to try to keep it that way. Aside from a couple of little tips that pop up every now and then, but otherwise, you know, I'm not here to do tit for tat with anyone. That doesn't bring me joy, and it's not, because if I start going on a rant, I'm an old lady now, and old people lose their filter, and it wouldn't end well. We all can say things when we're in a heated situation. So if there's one piece of advice I can pass on to anybody, is before you start tapping away at your keys, blink, turn your head, put your hands in your lap, close your eyes, take a deep breath, count to 10, or get up and get a glass of water, and then come back and decide if what you were going to say is going to be worth any potential aggravation or conflict you might see as a result of it. You know, there is something to be said about choosing your battles. And now that I'm gonna go over this with you guys, hopefully nobody takes it as a dig or I'm giving commentary on any situations that might be going on right now, because that's not my intent. My intent is to inform my friends on my channel, my subscribers or future viewers, so just that they have the tools that they can pull something up, know what link to go to, or at least what phrase to use in your search engine of choice to research the information for yourself, to have a better understanding. Because the more educated and knowledgeable we are as individuals, the more powerful our voices will be when we're together, you know. And I really do believe that, as cliche or corny as it may sound, it is something that I believe. So here we go. Free speech and online chat. Hate speech, hurt feelings, harassment, facts over feelings. We see things in chat like, you're a liar, I'm reporting you, shut up, you're a jerk. Shout out to the jerks in the positive way. You smell, you're fat. I mean, these are just things that, you know, we live with this growing up. It's, you learn ways to cope. You're supposed to learn how to cope with people disagreeing with you or not liking you or giving you some type of criticism when you're young. And that develops as you get older and you enter the real world. You become an adult. You meet various people, and your experience grows. Your tolerance, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, and that's fluid as you age and gain experience and you mature. Your boundaries change, your thought processes change. The people that you surround yourself with change, your family changes, your family dynamic changes, your friend groups change, your work situations change. It seems to me, and this is only my opinion, that that's been lost in recent years, and no more place more evident than on social media and YouTube. It's like a form of arrested development, and that's the only, I think that's probably the best way to put it. It appears there's been an arrested development of individuals, or there's been a regression. Thank you, Chopper. Thank you, Grandma Sherry. Is Duchess here? Arctic Fox, Duchess. Oh, they're channels. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Excellent channels. Excellent. Okay. All right. All right. Before I go on another tangent. Okay. Disclaimer, nothing in this presentation is to be taken as legal advice. This presentation is simply a visual guide pertaining to the First Amendment, freedom of speech within the context of law in the United States of America. The laws in the United States are constantly being updated as technology, culture, and the society changes with the times. What is on the books today may be updated tomorrow. Please do your own research. Okay. I'll send you to www.mad.uscourts.gov/resources, where you can find information about the presumption of innocence and proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Presumption of innocence is the cornerstone of our justice system. Okay. I think a lot of people in the true crime arena have lost sight of that. And it's something that I think everybody really should brush up on. You should have learned this in a civics class when you were in the 7th and 8th grade. Okay. Besides requiring the government to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, the presumption of innocence offers various protections that include our Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, our Sixth Amendment right to a lawyer. Okay. I've seen some comments and some scuttlebutt, why do people need attorneys? So on and so forth. You know what? It's really none of our business, but the fact is, it is a right as an American citizen that you have a right to a lawyer. We Frosty, hello. Oh, hey, beautiful. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Oh, mwah, love you too. Oh, all my peoples is here. Thank you so much. Paula's not here. She goes by the screen name Bible U. I've not been able to get a hold of her for a little while. I know she was going to be in the process of moving. So if Paula, if you catch this on the replay, I hope you're doing well and you are in my thoughts as you are always. And Chow Yun, thank you so much for always being my cheerleader. I appreciate it so much. You've been with me from the beginning, and we have formed a friendship that has lasted over 10 years now. Thank you. And I am looking forward to, the friendships I'm forming with y'all in chat now. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that aren't in the United States, do your own due diligence and check for the laws and statutes in your own jurisdiction. They're always changing. I think every generation says, oh, we're living in trying times. We're, and so forth. And every generation has their stick to beat and their song to dance to. Our generation right now is no different. So be vigilant and do your due diligence for your own area. And again, the Eighth Amendment, and then also the right not to be unjustly detained. And I encourage everyone to do their own research and understand your rights and responsibilities. Then there's the definitions of what's probable cause, reasonable suspicion, the difference between the two. Okay. All right. How do I do this? Oh, I don't know what to do. Bear with me, guys. Apologies. Okay. I just have to remove that so I can read my own thing. Internet chat rooms and freedom of speech by Michael Sari. He's a legislative fellow. That's Michael, traditional spelling, last name C is in cat, S is in Sam, E is in Edward, R Robert, E Edward. You can research him for yourself and determine if what he's written here and what he has suggested has merit based on his credentials. You can form your own opinion upon him. I'm going to read it because I trust his opinion. You asked if there are any laws regarding questionable antisocial behavior in cyber chat rooms. You asked if such behavior falls under the First Amendment freedom of speech umbrella. A cyber chat room is an area on a computer network or the internet where participants can engage in interactive discussions with one another. The primary purpose of an online chat room is to communicate information with other people through text in real time. That's nothing new. We all know that's what it is. Then it goes over to discuss the First Amendment of the Constitution. Now, the reason I'm bringing up chat rooms is because there's been scuttlebutt and tittle tattle about what's being said in chats and the responsibility of what's said in the chat on a greater scope. Okay. If I say something in Candy's chat and then 3 months down the road, somebody's in Beverly's chat in a totally different genre or a totally different community and says, well, Wendy said this, and now this is going on here. So, you know, she caused this problem, and now we need to go after her and file suits or file reports and so on and so forth. And it's going to be used against you. I'd look at it this way, you know, don't put anything on the internet that you wouldn't write home to mom about or want your grandma to see. I mean, it goes back to that 10-second rule before you start typing. And for the love of digital media and fiber optic cables, y'all, before, this is a pet peeve of mine, before you pop a live or before you start going on community posts, looking at a certain person that walks around with a press pass, educate yourself on what you're talking about. Have a modicum of knowledge in the area that you're willing to talk about so you don't look like a fool or make other people that are listening to you, when there's thousands of them, turn around and look like fools as well, because that starts a whole nother kettle of fish. It really does. It's a pet peeve. If you don't know something that you're talking about or have the requisite knowledge, ask a question, be pointed in the right direction, and find it out so you can speak on it. Maybe not with authority, but at least speak on it so you can at least skate by and not look stunted or foolish. And that's all I'm trying to do today, guys, is point you in a direction so you can understand, and maybe it'll help y'all. Okay, protects most speech. What would appear that such protections would extend to conduct online chat rooms. Case law has determined that certain narrowly defined categories, excuse me, of speech or conduct do not receive constitutional protection anywhere. Please understand this. Just because you have the right to say it doesn't mean that it can't come back and bite you in the bum. That's threats, advocating imminent lawless actions, inciting imminent violence, fighting words, obscenities, child pornography, libel, slander, copyright, trademark infringements. Moreover, the courts have ruled that speech or conduct that becomes harassment or stalking is not protected by the First Amendment. Under certain circumstances, that free speech, aiding or abetting a crime, is likewise not protected. People, understand that if you are what would be considered browbeating, if your intent may not be XYZ, but it's how the person feels. And there is a reasonable expectation. Please research reasonable expectation of privacy and solitude in your domain, you know, in your mind, in your home, and in of your person. Okay. You need to know that there is a fine line, and I would just refer you to look into this a little bit further. And if bum biting words, good reminder. All right, yeah, I might use some old-fashioned words. Apologize. I've passed the middle age mark. Is hate speech illegal in the United States? In the United States, hate speech is not illegal, though sometimes hateful speech may lose First Amendment free speech protection for other reasons. To understand the difference, let's define hate speech. Some categories of speech are not protected by the First Amendment, and these kinds of speech may overlap with speech considered to be hateful. A few of these things are defamation, true threats, fighting words. We went over that. So, importantly, speech that is not protected by the First Amendment is not judged on the viewpoint expressed, but rather based on specific narrow definitions and the direct harm the speech inflicts. So again, I think it's self-explanatory. I'm here with a bunch of educated adults. That's the line. The press pass doesn't think exists. Yeah. Actually, if it wasn't for the fact that I literally have an explosion of yarn and number 10 thread all around me, I would turn my camera on and show you what actual press passes look like, because a press pass is given to an individual that has a right to be at an event, whether inherently or because they requested it. Okay. When you, let's say, for example, okay, perfect example. There's a rock and roll festival. There's a band playing down on the square, and you write for the local newspaper, or perhaps you're even writing for your local school newspaper. You contact the venue and you say, hey, listen, I'm writing an article on local culture. I think this would be perfect for our publication, or I think this would be perfect for my school paper. Do you mind if I come in and peruse and ask a few questions and that type of thing? They'll either say yes or they'll say no, or sometimes they will refer you to the organizer of the event, which would be like a Live Nation or a local promotions company, or they'll refer you to the band or the band's manager to get permission for that. Because just because you have a press pass, that doesn't mean that you can take photographs. Okay. Okay. You know what? We will go off on the signing object for a moment, because it kind of ties into this. If you have a press pass, it allows you access to the event. Okay. It allows you access to the event for your observations. You can sometimes do quick grab and go interviews, man on the street interviews of the people that are also attending this event, which would be if it's free, then it's regular, open to the public, or if it's a paid event, like ticket holder, the audience members. But that doesn't mean that you can take a photograph. You get a separate pass, or your pass will say photographs allowed, or this is a photojournalist pass, that type of thing. And the phrasing is different. It's by venue and it's by publication. Now, legitimate publications, they have an ISS number, which is the International Standardized Serial Number. And with that, you can apply to have credentials for the people that work for that publication. These are not credentials that allow you free access to any event. You still have to have a credential for the event you're going to, unless there is a my stutter's going to come out. A reciprocity with a venue and a publication. For example, at one time, MTV was basically had carte blanche to film, report, write, take photographs at Ozfest, or MTV2 did Rolling Rock Town Fair, and that was a real stickler because it was when Rolling Rock Town Fair wasn't in Latrobe. They ended up having it at Heinz Field, and they ended up knocking all the local publications out of the way, not for their past to be there and take pictures, but for being behind the ropes. They ended up with the filming rights, and that would a lot of people were upset about that. Not only locals, but oh gosh, was it Red Shoe Productions out of Soho? He was down, but yeah, okay. That now that's another tangent. But yeah, if you work for a newspaper, a periodical, which is basically periodical, or they come out periodically, which why it's a serial, like your Reader's Digest, your Spin, your Rolling Stone, your Mid-Atlantic Monthlies, and so forth. Now, who you're going to be submitting your work to, they can provide you with identification. So when you show up at the venue, you verify, yes, I'm Joe Smith. I'm here with Spin Magazine. Here's my ID, and you have an employee number or an ID number, and it has all the pertinent publication information. So I don't know what Betty has. Honestly, that it boggles my brain. I mean, she might as well just be wearing her driver's license on a lanyard around her neck at this point. That's all I can say about that. That's my opinion. But the other stuff I told you, that's not opinion. That's how it works. Unless something is seriously changed in the last 32 years. Oh, Paula's here. Mwah, good to see you. Good. Oh, listen, look at me. I'm blowing kisses to y'all. I'm sorry. I got on a tangent. And now I'm rambling. Okay. Here in this slide is the cases that you can look up. They've been up there for a while. Hopefully you've taken a look at them, and you can look them up. You can read through them at your leisure, and some of them go back. I mean, we're talking back to 1949. What are fighting words? Has been defined words that by their very utterances inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of peace. There's Cohen versus California, RAV versus City of St. Paul, and these are, and again, this is all relative. Yeah, Chaplinsky versus the state of New Hampshire. Write this down, screenshot it for your own records. Go take a look at it in cga.ct.gov, and they should have a reading room as well. Federal and state statutes. I'll leave this up here. You can take a quick look at it, screenshot it. And this regarding Interstate Communications Acts, telephone harassment, and so forth. And, you know, if anybody is following the Rico Suave situation, oh gosh, now I'm using code words. Oh dear, I don't want people to change my speech. But here it is. Take a screenshot of this scene in the live. Read it at your own on your own time, and then go read about this for yourself. Okay, and you can see if it applies or if it doesn't apply with what's in the filings, because I think everybody has seen the documents by now. In 2011, it does not appear to cover messages posted on internet bulletin boards or web pages, social networking sites, or other one-way communication. However, certain transmissions in online chat rooms could be covered. And I'll refer you back to Interstate Stalking and Prevention Act. This one, near as I can tell, it is being upheld if there is a pattern of behavior. If there's a versus a one-off versus a one-off of somebody saying something in a chat versus a pattern of behavior. Again, the browbeating type of thing. And again, a very fine line, very fine line. And here you go. I'll leave this slide up for a minute. You can screenshot that and look into it further. And again, this is all information that you can see it, you can read it for yourself, and it also gives you, it opens the door for you to know where to look and what terms to search for, so you can have a better understanding of what's going on if you want to. But for your own knowing on how to maybe conduct yourself when you're in a chat room beyond the normal kindness and decency. I'm all for, sometimes critique is necessary, but let's be honest, some of the things that we've seen in the chat rooms and on panels is vile. It's not nice, and it's just not nice, and it can make people, and honestly, I believe it is, certain things are said in a way to evoke the emotions of the chatters, of the viewers. So it starts the whispers, so it riles people up, so it gets that cortisol going, and then you end up having that negative feedback loop, which in turn, that loop leads to circular logic and echo chambers and limited hangouts and the whole 9 yards. And for a lot of my longtime subscribers, this isn't going to, this is what I'm about to say isn't new to you, but some of y'all that are new, you may not know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. It's a rabbit hole you probably don't want to go down unless you have a lot of time on your hands. But social media has been engineered. And if anybody thinks for 1 minute that people have not been placed in various communities online and on all the platforms to instigate, you are mistaken. Okay, you are mistaken. And I would refer you to the CIA readingroom.gov and do an open online FOIA. Use your search terms, and you will find declassified documents about this. And also, you will find white papers. If you know how to search, you will find the white papers in psychology journals, as well in most of your higher institutions of learning and medical colleges. Okay, this stuff is there, and there's a lot of social engineering going on. There are also a lot of social experiments going on. People have fallen into it, and they're unaware of it. These things are being done without our knowledge and without our consent. And I am of the opinion that it has changed the way people process information. It has changed the way people interact with one another. And there is a distinct correlation between real world events and the deterioration of decency that comes back to online immersion. Okay, and I know my tone has shifted. I apologize for that, but I want to speak very clearly about it. Our minds should be sacred, and they've been manipulated. And as a result of that, more bad behavior than good is what we tend to see. Oh my, right on, right on. Hi, Steph. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Okay, now Chopper said there's a link I can put into the chat. I mean, does anybody want to come up for a minute? I know Chopper's going to be going live. Hopefully I didn't lose y'all when I went down the rabbit hole. Well, while y'all think about that, how about, let me see, I think I have it in here. How about, music. Okay, we're going to go back here. So I think I've laid enough heavy stuff on y'all to think about. Let's take it out with Slam Jam Betty. And thank you all for coming. And I will see you, and you all have a great pumpkin day. But don't leave before you hear the song. And, I guess do all the YouTubey things. A thumbs up or a comment afterwards would be really helpful. I'm trying to get my watch hours up because there's something that I'd like to do, and I can't do it yet because I don't have enough watch hours. So, and it's not monetization. No, I will never see monetization on this account because, again, I dwell in the rabbit hole for far too long. Okay, here we go. Let's get some music going. Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty got herself in a jam. Oh, Bullhorn Betty, fixing to get put up in slam. Bullhorn Betty, a fake press pass. Judge gonna take her down fast. Bullhorn Betty. Betty got herself in a jam. Tennessee judge backing her off to slam. Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty. Tennessee judge backing her off to slam.